Every day, we trade pieces of our identity for convenience. A quick sign-in with Google here, a new clerk authentication pop-up there, and dozens of dense terms of service agreements that nobody actually reads. Once we click Agree, that data enters a black box. We grant initial access, but the information immediately disappears into isolated corporate ecosystems. We have no dashboard to see where it lives, and zero oversight over how it's used. This leaves us totally in the dark about what happens next. Are third-party developers quietly scraping our private GitHub repositories? Is a random app we used 3 years ago currently training a new AI model on our personal voice memos? This fragmentation results in a complete loss of ownership. We lack a single clearinghouse where we can see every entity that has access to our data and revoke that permission at will. Without that central point of control, we are no longer the sovereign owners of our digital identities. Creating that central point of control requires a digital doorstep, a sovereign hub known as Bolo. Instead of relying on platforms like Facebook or Apple to verify who you are, you use a single sovereign address that you own and manage yourself. This doorstep acts as a centralized clearinghouse. It actively tracks every single API connection, every app authorization, and the exact terms of service you agreed to at the moment of engagement, all in one accessible location. To reclaim control over our data, we have to stop letting fragmented platforms dictate the rules. We must replace their scattered entryways with a single, highly guarded front door to our digital lives. This diagram illustrates the new architecture from the ground up. At the bottom are raw elements: identity, calendars, code, and health data. Above them, centralized Bolo hubs, like Thor and Allison's, securely pull this data via loose coupling without permanently merging. Once organized, Bolo uses restricted pipelines to grant third-party apps temporary, specific access. For example, Thor routes public GitHub to Buhire, restricting calendar hours. Allison similarly grants restricted access to her Ladybug voice clone, guaranteeing you dictate exactly how information is shared. Looking at this fully connected web of data pipelines, the sheer volume of connections is visually overwhelming. Managing all of this manually would be impossible for an everyday user. This is where software designers employ a concept known as UI gradualism. UI gradualism is a design strategy that structures a visual environment in levels, initially hiding advanced features and complex backend realities so the user isn't immediately overwhelmed. By hiding that backend infrastructure, the interface becomes deceptively simple. Complex data policies that used to require deep technical knowledge are now managed through a single voice command, like, "Hey Bolo, recall all access to Thor." True design elegance is achieved when a system can manage an infinite number of granular data permissions, while making the experience feel as intuitive as a casual conversation. And that conversational interface is going to be vital, because we are rapidly approaching a future where autonomous AI agents will constantly interact and negotiate with each other on our behalf. In that landscape, your Bolo will act as your primary negotiator. It will ensure that your personal AI strictly manages exactly what it shares with external corporate AIs, down to the smallest detail. A digital doorstep provides a necessary layer of privacy today. More importantly, it ensures that as AI agents begin to represent us, we remain the ones who set the boundaries of that representation.